hope you find this interesting and hope it brings you to your mat and cheers up your day. So here we go. Let's yin. Come into child's pose, drawing the hips back, reaching the fingers out, lengthening the spine, sitting bones back. Deep, long breaths through the nostrils, in and out, rib cage expanding with each breath. Then inhale and come to your kneeling position here. Inhaling up, reach all the way up to full kneeling. Maybe taking a baby back bend here and then come to namaste hands. Separate your knees, hip distance apart. Hands down, belly in, shoulders back, down, up, back and down. Roll your shoulders. So make it feel really good as you roll your shoulders back. Maybe rolling them the other way, moving them around, whatever way feels good. Then inhale, lift up to sky. And exhale, belly in, sweep back. And inhale, lift up, maybe arching back. And exhale back, sweeps up and back. And maybe taking that baby back bend. The inhale on the lift, the exhale behind. One more, inhale up. And then take namaste neutral. Hands come back down to the mat. Let's do a little cat and cow also for our warm up. Let's round the back into cat. Your thoracic spine is lifted. Your head drops down, navel in. Reverse it, eyes look forward. Rounding again, navel in, arching your back. Lengthening your spine, crown is down, toes are flat. Lengthen your shins, reversing again into your cow, moving your chest forward. Crown of the head tries to lift up. Then come to your neutral here. Move your knees as wide as the mat and give it a little rock back and forth. Kind of a half frog here as you push back. Some of you might be able to get all the way back to your W sit and that feels good to you. Maybe some of you coming a little more forward into that kind of a lifted cobra. And then come back into center and bring your knees hip distance, toes flat. Let's lift up with that right arm and swing it underneath, threading the needle and then lifting it back up. Couple more of those, threading it under and lifting it back up just for warm up, threading it under, lifting back up. One more, threading it under, lifting up. Maybe bring that hand behind the back. Take your right hand's behind your back, your left leg's out, toe tucked. Open up the chest, feel that balance. Start feeling your outer obliques engage. Lift up again with that top right arm, bring it back, come back to your tabletop. Rock a little bit with classic tabletop, moving your hips forward, hips back, navel in. Feeling your spine. Okay, stay in that tabletop. And lift up with your left hand and thread it under. And lifting it up and threading it under. And lifting it up. And breathe, threading it under. You're just warming up, lifting it up, threading it under. One more, lifting it up, threading it under. And back up to the sky now. On this side, bring that hand behind your back. Open up through your chest and taking that right leg back. Open up your whole side body and then trying to take that upper scapula bones and just really plug them into the back as you look up, maybe taking your gaze up. Then exhale, bring it back down to your tabletop. Slide your knees towards your wrists. Sit back on your heels, maybe taking those hands back. And if this is too tight on your knees, you can come back to this position. You could put a pad underneath your hips if this is too tight for your knees. Lift up a little bit if you can. Open your chest and let your head drop back. And then come back down into that seated position. And then from here, step back into plank. And let's tread a little. 1, 2, 1, 2 with the knees. Warm up the core a little bit. If this bothers your wrist, you can come back to maybe you can come to a forearm plank if that's better for you. Or stay with your straight arm plank. Let's lift up and back into your downward facing dog. Pulling the navel in, stretching back. Moving your hips to the sky. Your buttocks is the apex. And then slide that right knee in. Cupcake fingers lifting up. Quad is lifted on that back leg. breathing here. And then exhale, hands down, step back into your down dog. So engage core, step back, tread it out. Maybe moving your hips side to side, plugging those shoulders into that chest. Let's take that left knee in, bring it in. Again, stretching back and lifting that quad on that back leg, lifting chest, looking forward. Deep breaths. And then pressing through your palms and engage and step back and find that plank again. Drop the knees, find your tabletop. From here in tabletop, stretch the leg behind you, swing it out to the side, swing it back behind, swing it out to the side. Just stretching, opening up that hip. And then bring it behind you, lay that foot down, and walk your hands over to the right. And maybe coming down with your forearms and your head and really stretching that whole outer IT band and lengthening here. And then walking the hands up, come back into center, bring both knees safely into tabletop, rock a little forward and back. Come back to neutral, and then take your left leg out, cross it over, bring it out, cross it over, bring it out. Engage your muscles as you do this, so you're not just flinging your leg, you're engaging and squeezing your pelvic floor, your inner outer thighs, your buttocks. Big breaths, your core is lifted. Now slide that foot over, all the way over the side, and then walk gently, carefully, coming down onto your forearms, stretching quite a bit. Lengthen, pull the spine long, crown of the head's reaching out further from your crown, all the way to your sitting bones, and really stretching down that side IT band. They get so tight, and especially when we're sitting more, maybe we're sitting a little bit more in the day. And then coming back, walking it in, bringing your leg back, and coming back to your tabletop. All right, let's slide your left knee in again and come over into your side hip and bring up your right foot toward your bottom. And just give me this stretch. Draw your shoulder back and down, and maybe pulling that foot closer to your buttocks. And if that's too tight, you don't have to bind the foot. You can just bring the foot up. You can have the hand in the front. You're not putting all your weight on the left hand. You're just opening up here. And then stretch it back down. Bring it to the front. We're going to come into Janushrasana. We're bringing that left foot into that right groin. Now, it might not happen. Might be you'd have to have your foot down lower. It's all good. Inhale up. And maybe you're using a yoga strap or your towel around your foot. Or maybe you're just coming to the ankles. Maybe even just the calves. You're stretching through that whole spine, pulling the spine longer, and you're not trying to take your head to your knee. You're trying to lengthen the spine as you come forward and you breathe into this Janushrasana. Couple more breaths. And then inhale all the way up. Exhale, bring your legs out. Staff position, shake them out. Inhale up, and let's come to Paschimo. Coming forward bend, seated forward bend, Paschimottanasana. Breathing, crown past the toes, lengthening your spine. Again, you can put that strap over those feet. And if this doesn't feel right to you, you can put a little padding underneath the edge of the buttocks. Sometimes that helps. You can soften the knees a little bit. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, bring the hands down. Windshield wipe your feet. Side, 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 side. Good. Let's try a little transition here. So come back, crossed ankles, come forward and come back into your tabletop. And rock your tabletop. Now, if that doesn't feel good, walking over that cross-legged, you could swing your legs around and come to tabletop. Let's bring that right knee in. Breathe and lower down onto your hip here. And bringing your foot back. Now, as you're doing this, I want you to notice that you're pulling the foot toward the butt. So wherever that goes, it might be that your foot's here. It might be that you let go of the foot. It might be that hands are down. It might be that having this hand down and trying to lengthen here, sometimes this becomes an issue. If this is the issue, you could have a block underneath your hand and just try not to lean into that hand. You're trying to lengthen here and get that good stretch going. Big breaths here. And then you're going to try to swing it on around. So you come around, swing it around into your Janyu on this side. So pull that foot in. Now the right foot's coming in. So as you can see on Janyu, you might have your foot all the way up toward the groin. You might have your foot lower. Don't push on the kneecap. Inhale up and exhale forward, full Janu Sirsasana. Lengthen your spine here. Breathe. Crown of the head is moving. So think of the crown of your head as being one of those pivotal points. Thinking of your spine as lengthening, your core tucking in, deep, long breaths. Another one. And then inhale up to sky, reach up, come to namaste. Bring your hands down. Okay, we're going to come into cobblers, so slide your feet together and make it be a butterfly. So I want you to kind of have a star position, butterfly, with your legs, just warming up those thighs. Deep breaths. All right, now slide those legs open, so you want to make an open V with your legs, toes pointing up. Inhale up to sky. Exhale, twist over that left side, come over your left leg. Maybe fingertips just coming by the calves. Maybe walking down. So you want to watch that your right side buttocks doesn't come up. So when it peels up off like that and you have daylight, or even it's even slightly peeling up, remind it to stay down as you forward fold. And inhale up to sky and twist over to that right side. See how that feels. You might be tighter on one side than the other. Lengthen. Bring your crown of your head past your toes. Keep thinking of inner groin opening, outer hip opening. Lengthen toward that foot. So you're not trying to crash your head down onto your leg. You're lengthening over it. You can put that strap on your foot if you'd like. So this is Upavishta Konasana. Inhale up. Exhale, hands down. Let's bring the feet back around to staff. Shake them out. Inhale up to sky. Exhale, we're going to curl back and use that core as we curl back. So curling back. Then bring the right knee in and lift the hands up and make cactus arms. Good. And turn your cactus. So a little challenge here, curling. Come back, lengthen, and fold. Breathing here. Hands out front, curl back again. This time, lifting up that left. Yes. Cactus, bend, twist. Hold that pose, breathing. 4, 3, 2, center, foot down, lift, lengthen, forward fold. Inhale to sky once more. Exhale, hands come back. Little tabletop reverse here. So let's open up the chest.